Sometimes you might feel like you're in like punishment season, but it's actually preparation season. So here are 5 things that you guys need to look out for to see if you're actually in preparation season. I just realized I did my intro. I wasn't looking at the camera. Anyways, I don't care. I'm gonna move on. You've been introduced to the video already. I want you guys to think about if you're feeling stuck or you're feeling like you're being punished in this season right now. I want you guys to actually think, could it potentially be a preparation season? I've got 5 things that I need you guys to look out for, to reflect on, and think about these things to see if you're actually in your preparation season. Although it may look like it's punishment season, it's your preparation season. So the first thing that I want you guys to think about is, are you getting removed from a lot of things that you might find comfortable? So this could be familiar people, this could be familiar places. Are you being stripped away from comfort? And that's one of the signs that you're getting prepared, because you can't elevate and grow in comfort. I don't know how many times I have to say this, but I'll continue saying this until everyone gets it. Comfort is the enemy, guys. You can't get to the place where you want to go in whilst you're being comfortable at the same time. You need to be stripped away from comfort. So you could be going through a season right now where familiar places, familiar people are getting stripped from you. And it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, because sometimes if you're the smartest one in the room, you're in the wrong room. Sometimes it's time for you to get into different rooms, into different environments, into different circumstances, because only when you're put in front of people that are maybe more intelligent than you, that's the time for you to grow. So you need to be stripped away from comfort. You need to be stripped away from comfort. And that's one of the first things. Because it's uncomfortable, you can think already you're being punished. But this is one of the ways that you have to get prepared. You need some home truths. And the home truth that I can give you today is, comfort is the enemy. You won't go anywhere if you stay in your comfort zone. You need to get out. So sometimes it may look like people leaving your life. It may look like they're not trying to speak to you anymore. It may look like your mindsets are shifting, so you no longer agree. How can two walk together unless they agree? So you might find that you guys are not aligning in values anymore. You want to go left and they want to go right. So it could be different circumstances. Some other people, it could be they're up and leaving the city that they lived in, the country that they're living in, and they're going to a totally different country where they know absolutely nobody. That is very uncomfortable. Let's be real. You can call them brave all day, every day, but that's very uncomfortable. But those people tend to strive a lot more because they're actually literally putting themselves in an uncomfortable situation that is forcing them to speak out to different people, that is forcing them to learn a different culture and embrace a different culture, that is forcing them to change how they used to live and adapting it to the way that different country or town or whatever works, right? So you need to be stripped away from your comfort. That's the very first thing I can tell you guys. The second thing I want to tell you guys is, sometimes doors have to close before the other ones are opened. So what I mean by this is, not every door that's open is a good door. First of all, you need to assess the door. You need to assess, what type of door is this. I've had an experience when I thought an open door was a good opportunity. This is when I started my business years ago, and I was going to go into a store. I did go into the store actually, but I'm not beefing them. The Lord is beefing that person now. I've said to God, sort this out, deal with this. Because if I now beef them, I'm moving divinity's hand from having the vengeance. And I don't want to do that. So I'm taking several seats and I'm letting God deal with it. But I thought it was a good opportunity at the time. Wow, sparkle, wow, my products in the store, wow. But it actually wasn't, and it actually bit me in the backside. So I've learned from that. So that's why I say to you, not every open door is positive, but some doors have to close before other ones open, right? Redirection is not rejection, guys. Redirection is not rejection. Sometimes you just need to pivot a little bit so you're facing a different direction. Because what if what God has destined for you is this way, but you're too busy looking here? How can you see that unless He pivots you? So that rejection of that door closing, what a shame, pretty party. Pick yourself up very quickly and start to think, okay, that didn't work. What else can I do? I'll give you an example for me as well. Like, obviously, there's a lot of different things that I do. I do speaking engagements, I mentor, I coach. I also have my business, my accessories business. There's a lot, and there's other things, other ventures that I have. Like, I always say, God's given all these gifts and talents. I'm going to try every single one of them. One of them will bang. At least one of them will bang. So don't limit yourself to think, I just have to do this. Some people are very gifted in different things, and it can be quite tiring because you think, I don't even know what to do. There's too much that needs to be done. But anyways, sidetracking. What was I even gonna say? Oh yeah. So when I was talking about the speaking engagements, there was a time when I was applying for loads different speaking engagements. Do you know how many rejections I got? I don't even want to tell you how many rejections I got. I just got a lot of rejections, a lot of rejections. And it's very disheartening at the start when you think, what? No one wants to hear me speak, whatever. But then again, this is the grace of God. YouTube is a platform that I'm literally using for people to see how I speak. This is my CV. So if you want to book me for speaking engagements, this is how I talk. This is how I be when I'm speaking to people. And this is a better way for people to actually see how I engage. But that wasn't rejection, that's redirection. If they had accepted me, all of them, maybe I wouldn't even have a YouTube channel, to be honest. Maybe I wouldn't have one. But the fact that I got so many rejections, God pivoted me to say, okay, focus on putting videos out, because that way people can then see you. And then instead of you begging and saying, hi, let me speak at your event, people will just be DMing you to say, please speak at the event. Can you see how that works? So don't look at rejection. Don't look at it as rejection, I should say. Look at it as a redirection. Look at it to say, okay, that didn't work. What else could I do? What else could I do right now? How can I shift this? How can I pivot? And I'm literally doing this because this is how you have to be in your mind. You have to literally pivot your mind. Pivot your mind. And not to say that that was the only route for you. That was the only route. Some people, they strive so hard for something, and when it doesn't work, they don't know what to do for the rest of their life because they're just now living in regret because that thing didn't work. All that time you could have been investing and spending time learning a new skill, learning a new gift, learning something else that could help pivot and transform your life. And maybe by you doing that, your life would be better off, because maybe that route could have only got you so far, but maybe this one can get you further. Yeah? So don't look at it like it's rejection and you've been rejected from society and that's the end of your life and you're just throwing a pity party now. Don't. Redirection, guys. Constantly think about redirection. You need to have this growth mindset. So that's not the end of your world. And don't look at it like the end of your world. Pick yourself back up. Pick yourself. Also, shout out to Aaliyah. Everyone needs to send her her check. Shout out to Aaliyah. She said, dust yourself and try again. So you need to try again and keep trying. The fact you're still alive on this earth, it means you've got another attempt. You got another try. You got another date that you can try again, right? It's not what's it called? Redirection. Sometimes you might not even know that God's even like protecting you. You might not even know this, but God could even be protecting you. And you think, oh, boohoo, look at my life. It's not going the way that I want. What about if that was just a protection that you have no idea? And maybe in the future, you'll see why you were being protected from that. Even my own personal story, there was the opportunity for this same people that God is going to sort out, because I believe and trust in Him. They wanted me to go in different stores and around the world. It was just sounding a bit, and it didn't pan out that way. Although I kind of wanted it, it didn't pan out that way. And initially I was thinking, oh, why didn't it work out? Blah, blah, blah. But now, because everything that was in darkness has come to light and I've seen how much they tried to do me over. You're trying to do me over. Do you know I'm a daughter of the Most High? You're very, very careful. Very, very careful. Because you tried to do me over, God's going to take care of that one. Now, imagine if I invested more money or more resources or more for these projects, whatever, and it didn't pan out. Like I would have been, I would have been hosting my own pity party. You guys would have been invited to my pity party. I would have been hosting my own. It would have been a mad thing. Basically, it would have been a mad thing. So sometimes it's actually God protecting you. You never know. In that moment in time, you can be upset, but look at it as a redirection method. If you've done everything possible and you've tried everything you possibly can and it's not worked out, fine. You've done your best. You can only do your best. You can literally only do your best. So that's the second thing. Now, the third thing that you could be thinking about is sometimes you might not be feeling like satisfied anymore. But what I mean by that is like the same things that used to satisfy you now no longer satisfy you. So you might be looking at simple things that you used to do in your day to day that now you're thinking about and it doesn't even satisfy you like that. That means that you're growing up. You're finally becoming an adult. Yeah? It means that you're growing out of certain things. And that is not a bad thing at all. It's not a bad thing to grow out of certain things. It means that your time for that life is now finished. Like people that used to hit the club, people used to hit the club and they used to get crunk. They used to get crunk. And now they're not feeling the club. They're not feeling the club anymore. It means they've outgrown it. And it's not a bad thing to outgrow it. It means that you know there's more for you and this is it. This is where you call it quits. So you might have this I don't want to say dissatisfaction, but yeah, you could call it that for many things that you used to love. And now you're questioning yourself, why did I even love that? I don't even know why I wasted so much time doing that. What is that? You're getting prepared. Yeah? You're getting prepared. Your mind is shifting because you're realizing that there's more for you than this club. There's more for you than what you would do now. So don't look at it as a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. It means that your taste buds are tingling for things that are better, higher things, better things. It means that you're now ready to elevate. You're now getting stretched. And I always say that all of these things stretch you. They stretch you to be better than you were yesterday. So if you're feeling dissatisfied about certain things, it could mean that you are getting prepared, you know? Yeah. In those times it's better for you to actually now start journaling, I'd say. I'd actually say start journaling. In those times it's better for you to actually start journaling. Start to write down what's going through in your mind, what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Look at what is satisfying you now, because if things are now dissatisfying you, there are things that are now satisfying you. So look to see what those things are, because you might find that your taste buds are now tingling for something a little bit more than what you were doing before. Go and explore it. Obviously, make sure it's not a mad thing. You're not disobeying God and those things there. Fine. Make sure you're not doing a mad thing. If you're not, fine. But see what your taste buds are now interested in, because it means that you're growing, and it's a good thing. We all have to grow. We can't be babies forever. We can't be drinking milk for the rest of our life. We need some food. We need some meat. We need something more solid, right? We need something of substance. So start journaling, take it into prayer as well. Chat to God. Obviously, He's the author and finisher of our faith, and He's the one that made you at the end of the day. Who best to ask? Who best to ask in that situation? Who best to ask? But that's number three. I do have two more things that I want to speak about, and I just like to write small notes because I don't want to mix up information. I don't want to give you guys poor information, bad boy pieces of information only. The game, the game is where you get the game here. The next thing is usually you start to get developed in the dark. I don't mean the literally dark, like it's dark outside type thing, but sometimes you start to get developed when people can't see this development, where people can't see it. So it could mean that you're spending a lot more time, not outside but inside, but not inside just wasting away and doing nothing. But you could be reading more, you could be watching podcasts more, you could be educating yourself on something more. You're gonna spend a lot of time grinding. That's the next thing that you'll look out for. You're going to spend a lot of time developing something in the dark. And why I say the dark is because not everyone can see that yet. I've got a video that I spoke about, Be Fruitful. I don't know why that video is not banging. That if you heard the game that I spat in that video, you wouldn't even be here. You wouldn't even be on this video. You'll be watching that on repeat. I'm gonna put it up so you guys can. I'm gonna pin it up. Please, guys, listen to that video about being fruitful. I speak about how I use the analogy of the tree and how what be fruitful means. And that's literally from Genesis 1. I got those two words, be fruitful, and spoke about it for like half an hour. Holy Spirit took over that one. But what I'm trying to say is you start to develop in the dark before everything comes to light. It's gravitropism before phototropism. So plants grow down before they shoot up, and that's the same with us. You have a period of time where you're growing in the dark, and it's not a bad thing. If you hear this and you're here right now, you're in the right direction. You're stepping in the right direction. So the things that you develop in the dark, they'll come out and everyone will see in the light one day. Glory be to God when that day comes. But just work on things in the dark. Use that season to graft. Use that season to kind of what's it called? It's almost like the wilderness season. That's what you call it. It's like Joseph. Love talking about Joseph. It's too many lessons on Joseph's story. Like, yo, he went through it. If I was him, I wouldn't have made it. I'll be real. I'll be real. That's why Joseph had to do that and not me. Because you're telling me that his siblings sold him off to slavery. They even put him down in a pit, bullying. First of all, not a fan. And then afterwards, they sold him to slavery, sold him to Egypt, and then afterwards he was all right, and then a girl moved to him and he didn't want her, and she was even married, that she's trying to cheat on her husband, also don't agree with that. And then afterwards, now he's in prison, and now he's in prison, he's getting treated anyhow. But through all of these things, this wilderness season, however long that was, because that doesn't happen in a week, that's years. People having a pity party because their life's not gone well for a day. Chat to Joseph. He'll tell you one or two things about patience, to be honest with you. But that wilderness season prepared him for becoming the prime minister one day. And if he had not gone through those things, I don't know. I just know God chose the right person for that one. Thank you for not choosing me. I would have quit. I'm being honest. I can't do all of that. No, thank you. That's why it had to be Joseph. So he had to go through all of these things in the dark before now Prime Minister. Wow, everybody look, wow, hey. And in Egypt they do the eyeliner thing even for the guys. So he had eyeliner. He had eyeliner. Anyways, let's not talk too tough. Yeah. So Joseph, that happened to him in the wilderness season. So you could be going through your wilderness season. And it's not a bad thing. Even Jesus was in the wilderness. After he got baptized, he got led into the wilderness. So after a high, you might have a period where you're low. But please use that season to work on the things that you need to work on in the dark before everything that comes back into light. After the wilderness season, Jesus now started preaching. You see, it has to happen. It literally has to happen. You can't avoid it. If you avoid it, you don't want it. Obviously, you don't want it. And the last thing that I want to talk to you guys is you need to, how can I say this nicely? Your mind needs to change. Transform your mind. Your mind needs to be renewed. So another way that you may feel like you're being punished is you're thinking about your old ways and your old mindsets, and you might not agree with them anymore. But it's not because they're bad. It just means that you're growing up. It means that your mind is being transformed. You need to let go of old mindsets. I was actually speaking to someone yesterday, and they were telling me how their old mindset, they thought that they had to grind and do all-nighters, but they realized it wasn't productive. It was not even productive because they're spending all their time forcing themselves to stay up during the night, and in the day they're now struggling. They actually realize that if they wake up earlier and start their day earlier, that actually they're more productive. And then at night, do you know what they can do at night? Let me tell you, they can sleep. They can sleep at night. Before they thought grind, grind don't stop. 25/8. I finna work. I finna work. Guys, I've always said that's not even cute. It doesn't even work. It doesn't even make sense. You need to let go of old mindsets. So if you've got old mindsets that you're seeing are now shifting and changing, it's not a bad thing at all. It just means you're getting transformed and you're being stretched and you're being pulled. That's the only way you can elevate, guys. You need to be stretched, you need to be pulled. Your mindsets need to change. Your mindsets need to be transformed. Yeah? It's a pruning season, guys. It's a pruning season, guys. God has not forgotten you. He's working on you. Okay? I want to end the video here because my dad's playing music and it's just boring it. So bye, guys. Ciao.